Lourdes, who is a retired chemist and president of the Spirit Charter School, which is how I got to know her. Ray Jones Avery, former executive director of Christina Cultural Arts Center, which is one of our early childhood partners, performing artist, ask her about that. Joanne Willigan, our former poet laureate from Delaware of 7 years, still does poetry out loud. And Lisa Bartoli, who founded Art Therapy Express. Look it up, one of the most innovative and interesting nonprofits I think here in the States. So we're here today with fellow Rotarian Yermina. Can you get it?
No, I don't. That's okay.
Ken,
Testing.
what should we do?
Don't worry.
Okay,
Don't
while you
worry.
figure that out, I'll do some introductions.
Don't worry.
So if you don't know Yermina, she moved to the U.S. As an executive with Exxon and has had many corporate roles. She's also been a nonprofit leader in Delaware. She's run for public office. She's now the board chair of the Spirit Charter. She's an advocate. She's been in the arts community. She started a bilingual program at Wilmington University, and I could go on and on, but that was really nice, Matt, to have the Wilmington University connection and the connection to the book. I don't know if you've read the book, but if you haven't, Alexa Hope and the Avenue of Possibilities was published this year?
A year ago.
A year ago. And it's about career choices and about older professionals helping and giving advice to younger ones. So that was the perfect invitation. Thank you so much. So, Yermina, tell us what inspired you to write this book.
Well, not only my interviewees, they are fantastic people that I've been learning a lot from. But I have to say that when it comes to career choices, I'm sure you have found yourselves or remember that time when you were thinking, what the heck am I going to do with my life? At a time when you are not even knowing yourself in so many ways. I've been struggling with that for the longest time. And in a way, and I have to say that Joan Balinghi, in a launch that made me reflect my connection with the book, she asked, she said she believes that there's always very personal in everything you write. And that made me reflect that at some point I was Alexa, but at some point I was also Ella Torres, the lady helping Alexa. So I guess I came full circle to finding myself in a way not knowing where to go, in need of role models like you guys being for so many people. And then you find yourself in the need of helping people along the way, right? Bringing people up, elevating the potential of each one of the individuals you encounter. So I've been learning from you guys all the time. So it was about time for me to celebrate you, because the book is not about me. It's about role models that should be taken into consideration when thinking about career choices. I hope that answers your question.
I love that. So for those of you who haven't read the book, it's structured around Ella, who's a radio talk show host and who brings in this intern, Alexa, and they interview these real Delaware celebrities, and that's sort of the way the book is structured. How did it become to be a book about a young person versus just, here are all these amazing people
Well, you know what, it began in the weirdest way, because as you know, I work for Wilmington University, and the College of Business and Technology. So everything began as a qualitative research. So my intention was to publish. And with the first editor, when I was putting the pieces together, she asked, who is your intended target audience? And I thought, well, I'm thinking youngsters, say from 17-year-old to 20-year-old kind of thing. And she quickly said, they don't read. So I migrated from qualitative research to the first version of the novel. And when I thought that it was ready to be published, the second editor said, would you like to be in contact with an editor? And that was a whole new experience, because I thought, this is a clear indication that I'm not putting my act together, that I'm not ready to publish. And I was kind of a rebel at some point, and I thought, well, no, I'm ready. It was very humbling to realize that I was not ready. I said, yes, let's work with another editor. And I cannot tell you enough in my free time, frequently weekends, how many corrections I got. Mainly saying, it's not about you, you need to provide a voice to the character. So Alexa became a person in my mind, and I was kind of providing that voice, but it's very difficult. I mean, I have more appreciation for writers and artists because it's not that easy to let the muse flow, right? So the muse was kind of not coming frequently. And so that's the way it became to a reality, kind of migrating from one place to the other, but with the understanding that I'm not a writer. I was not expecting to write a novel, so don't think that I did this because I wanted to publish zero. I just wanted to publish a qualitative paper. And it became a novel by itself. Don't ask me why, but I guess sometimes some projects take a life of their own. And you are just a conduit of that kind of spirit to let it go. So I did. I just was like helping that kind of spirit go.
And as a mom of teenagers, I was so impressed at all the lingo and modern terminology that you had. How did you work all that in there? Is that your nieces and nephews? Is that your editor?
It was a combination of everything. Yes.
Very impressive, because to write as a teenager is it's a different language. And how did you weave in so many important and serious subjects? I mean, for those who haven't read the book, racism, white supremacy, colonization of literature, DACA, xenophobia, and I could go on and on, coming out as a young person. I mean, you wove quite a number of important themes. How did you think, what was your approach to doing that?
Their lives. It was not me. It's each one of these ladies and guys, there's two guys, it's not just about ladies. It just so happened that talent in this case had a gender. But the reality is that it wasn't me. Each one of these lives are worth being told. So it wasn't me. Each one of them have lived so many lives with meaning. The common ground in between each one of the individuals that I interviewed was, I want to touch the motivation of the things, the reasons what they do, what you guys do. When you're able to touch the motivation of people, you're touching on the very souls of these guys. That in itself is a story to be told. And that, if you think from a different perspective, the real essence of leadership is exactly that. Any of these guys are looking forward to be recognized. They just do what they do because that's the right thing to do. And that, my friends, is the very definition of leadership. I tell my students, the minute that you begin claiming that you're a leader, you are not. When you need to explain and say that you are any of these guys, you will ever find them telling you that they are. But frequently they find themselves in the epicenter of things happening without even asking. That's what motivated me. So it wasn't me, I was just a conduit of that information, and these guys have lived those lives.
Well, I agree with that, but I also think that you wove those issues into Alexa's lives and her friends, and it brought the characters to life, the things that teenagers are dealing with, so
Yes.
kudos.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Well, let's bring these amazing Delaware women in here, talk about some more of the themes from the book. I pulled a few, one from each of them, and then maybe you can reflect or build on this. Okay, so Lisa said, we're all artists. It's important to be able to reach out and leave our mark. And for those of you that don't know, her nonprofit is about the arts for folks with disabilities. Lourdes, don't let anybody write your story, which I thought was so apropos for this story. Sharon, we really are the same and want the same things in life, that universality and humanity. Ray, we must not be silent about the things that matter, being in the epicenter and being a leader. And Joanne, we all have the ability to connect, and everyone has a desire to belong. I thought those were beautiful, but how would you expand on those, or what other themes would you
What
bring?
about asking them? Because they were,
Sure.
they were the ones,
Anybody?
yes.
What did I say?
Just maybe reflect on your experience with the book. Yeah.
Well, here's what I would like to say. Sorry about my back, to be honest.
Stay down,
Yeah, you can
stay
sit.
down.
I 100% agree with you that the truly meaningful and inspired work comes through you and not from you. And when you are ready to put it on paper or on film or on canvas, you can't stop. It comes so fast. So you sit around for a while, as you described. Oh, where is that idea? Where is that connect? And it doesn't come, and then all of a sudden, you can't type fast enough, paint fast enough, film fast enough. And so that's what I think we need to do for our young people, is give them some time to be inspired. Get off the damn devices. Spend time in quiet, in nature, in an art gallery, with a book, and give them time to be inspired.
Pass it around.
Oh, by the way, I did a really nice film about this one years ago, and this one. Okay, I'm gonna stay seated because I'm really shy. Maybe that's why I do art therapy. But I think the biggest thing, and I'm sitting here crying because this is so beautiful, just everything here. So thank you, everybody. But I think people with disabilities have been a gift to my life. So I'm the lucky one who gets to meet people who may not have a voice, who may communicate in different ways. And just when we open up our world and let everybody in, it enriches our lives so much. And I think we need this now more than ever. So, thank you.
I think Wilhelmina is in that book too. She says it's not about me, but there's a lot of her voice and her wisdom in both the characters, the mentor Ella and the student Alexa, and I could feel you and hear your voice. So anytime you're writing, it's sort of impossible for you, yourself, your experience, your wisdom, your joy and creativity not to be in it. And I was also very impressed with the lingo, with the teenage voice was so well done. It was very creative. So my take on, I don't know, I'm a writer, and I do what I do, and have found myself in positions of mentorship and sharing and encouraging people to write, because I believe that everybody has a story, and it's wonderful if it can be shared, because that's our sharing of our humanity, right? And empathy and compassion. So I write in order to connect and belong and teach young people, and also in the creative aging program, which just got refunded. I heard from my liaison at Delaware Division of the Arts. I teach folks at any level of experience, 55 and older, to write their stories. But I don't need to teach them, because they come and they have like so much to tell. And I just finished a class at the Woodlawn Library 2 weeks ago, and my students on the last day of class, which is set up to be a celebration, and we brought food, and it was open to the public, and they brought friends and relatives. They read beautiful pieces, and guess what? Like 4 out of 10 of them had just written and read pieces that they had not shared in class, and and reveal things about themselves that had us in tears like we had no idea, and they were beautifully written. So there's such a power in allowing your creativity to take form, whether it's in writing or painting or running or teaching or, you know, like whatever it is. And I just want to quote Bell Hooks, poet and a philosopher of love and writing and creativity. She said, no woman has ever written too much. No woman has ever written enough. And I'm going to extend that and say people of all genders. Because I, you know, don't want to say it's exclusively women, but she's a feminist. And so I just take that to mean nobody has written enough. You can write a letter, anything, but share your story with someone or tell it, you know, at least.
Good afternoon. I'm Ray. Congratulations. It is a tremendous accomplishment to have a thought and to bring it to fruition. So she's very cool, calm, and collected, but she worked for many years on her book. So I just want to publicly commend you for that, especially as one that has a closet full of unfinished products. So we
Words
must
of
not be
inspiration.
silent about the things that matters. And well-behaved women seldom make history. And we are in a time where, with the exception of a few voices, we are silent, and the silence is deafening. And so I encourage, you know, we're all leaders in some form or fashion. And leadership is not glamorous. So, one of my all-time mentors, Senator Margaret Rose Henry, she knows that. We still talk on the phone and are glad to not be on the front lines every day. So, especially, like, you're probably in the thick of it right now. It's a wonderful adventure. Be adventurous, and so that's all I have to say.
So very quickly, when Guillermina first approached me with the idea and the concept, I had to really just like, oh my God, what do I really have to say? Because that's typically the reaction that you said. So, and honestly, so we had the interview and we have went through the process, but it was not until the book was all put together that you said, oh my gosh, this is incredible in terms of the journey and how she weave all this story. We said, like, I think you highlighted, you know, critical aspect that each one of us would brought about and how it then makes sense that you need all those pieces to be able then to, at the end of the day, you know, forge and find your path. And even then, many times you revisit and question and challenge and continue to look for opportunities to further discover what you like to do. So it was a wonderful experience. I mean, I have to say there's a lot of creative. I'm like stick figure. I'm really a best. So as a scientist, it was a great opportunity. And I guess, you know, to feed my left brain, I guess, is my volunteer work with certainly Aspira has a very, very big place in my heart as the board chair, but today I'm the chair of the board of the Delaware Theater Company, so that is now my next baby or my next big activity that really, so that's how I feel, I guess, my creative side and being involved, doing the volunteer work and supporting those organizations. So Guillermina, like I said, it was a pleasure and congratulations, because certainly this kind of work, not everybody gets to the finish line. So.
Well, you can see why we're so delighted and honored to be with this amazing group. We got 6 speakers in one, so maybe share with them one more thing, and then we'll see what questions other folks have. What did you learn about yourself, or what was an insight that came from writing the book? You shared a few already.
What did I learn? That we all have the potential to become what we want to become by being convinced that we got what it takes to get where we need to get. And that we are enough. So I was struggling at the beginning, meaning when I was 18 years old. And I guess that hesitation, in a way, brings meaning to the thing that I did with the book. And the ability to have you guys as my friends is reason enough. So what I learned is that you got to do, when given lemons, you got to make lemonade in a way, right? You have to make shine, you have to help shine your context. That's probably the best lesson that I learned. Because sometimes you think that you need to change the world. The only thing you can change is yourself and your context. So from grandiose ideas, make things more relevant to your loved ones next to you, and probably try to change the context where you are. And be the best you can be at any given time.
I love that. I have to share something that I've learned from you, because I consider you a bridge for me. I love that even when we're talking about very serious subjects or absurd things happening in the world or in our lives, you always see the humor, and you always can kind of step back and say, this is ridiculous. Like, how ridiculous is this? And laugh at yourself and laugh at the situation. So thank you for bringing the levity.
Thanks to you and for the opportunity of being here from a different perspective. I've been here for the longest time, so I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Do you need this? Yeah.
I beat Dana Brooks to the mic. What? For those that don't know, Irina is the reason I am in Rotary, because she was my sponsor. So, thank you, Irina. So I'd like to ask about your process. Did you hold yourself up in a dark room for hours on end? Did you write little snippets here and there? How did you do this big job of building and writing a book?
Well, to say Carrie Gray was at some point, I brought her to Rotary, but at some point she was my boss. In 2 instances, not once but 2. The muse visiting you, Carrie, there's a lot of discipline involved. And I made the contrast with, at some point at WDEL, I had the privilege of interviewing Mario Vargas Llosa, the Nobel Prize winner in literature, who said the exact same thing. Is about discipline. So you found a guy at 5 o'clock in the morning, that's what he said, that he forced himself to go to his studio to write something up. I was not doing that, but I was trying to capitalize my weekends because I was working pretty much full time. Sometimes you make me work more than I should. But the thing is, on weekends you gotta have some kind of discipline. So whenever you have a plan and whenever you are accountable to, in this case, the editors, I needed to have something reasonable to say every weekend when I was in connection with the editors. So there's a lot of discipline involved. It's not just the news. Sometimes you have to force the news to visit you. And it's a very iterative process. It's you write and then you're corrected, and then you write and then you have to recover from, the ego being bruised because you thought it was fantastic, and the best thing after sliced bread, and it is not. So there's a lot of discipline involved. There's no magic. There's no magic. You gotta put your act together.
Over here.
You did a great job, man. Wonderful. Question for you. How do you get your book, Marketing 101?
How do I what?
How do people
Your
get it?
book.
Where is it sold? Where is it sold?
Sold.
You say that, how you get that?
How do you get the book? Where do you
Just go to Amazon, Google, Alexa Ho.
Amazon, Google.
Yes, it's in Amazon, and the price is not, I didn't want kids to be the price, reason why they don't get that. It is relatively reasonably priced. So it's easy. Okay.
Dear Nina and Madeline and ladies, thank you all very much. It's been a privilege to be with you and to listen to your stories and your wisdom. Dear Nina, as an expression of our appreciation and to mark your speakership today, as you know, we partner with 4 early childhood education centers, one of which is Christina Cultural Arts. And in your honor, we are going to be donating a book in your name to our partners. And thank you very much. If your schedule permits, please stay. There's usually macaroons if somebody hasn't gotten them all in their pocket. You have to be fast. There's coffee. Stay and enjoy the Rotary Fellowship and conversation. Michael would say if he were here, take care of yourself, and if you can, take care of someone else too.